Hi, so we're going to go into a class for our core and see how we go. You'll need a block if you have one. If you don't, no big deal. And then your body. So let's begin laying down on our back. Let's just take a moment to settle in. Finding that connection with the floor, with your mat. Noticing any sounds, smells. Noticing your breath. Just observing the body. And noticing how you feel. So drawing your awareness to the depth of your breath now, the length of your breath. I'm just beginning to deepen the breath more deliberately. Noticing tension, perhaps through the jaw, moving the jaw from side to side, maybe the neck, the shoulders, the hips. And just sending any breath or energy there, encouraging those areas to soften, to relax. And as you begin to deepen your breath and soften these areas, maybe move into your Ujjayi breath, that warming, victorious breath. So keeping your lips together. And inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose, creating that ocean wave sound. Feeling the expansion and the contraction of the rib cage and the diaphragm. And expanding through the belly as well. Let's take a couple more breaths here, just noticing the rise and fall of the body with the breath. And then begin to move through the fingers and the toes, just awakening. As we move into our practice, perhaps setting an intention for your practice. Spread through the fingers, and roll through the wrists and the ankles, and then begin to bring the knees in, just one at a time. Pull them in, and just press the lower back onto the mat. The eyes can remain closed here as you rock from side to side. Good, and from here we'll just open the eyes and bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. So just placing one hand on your lower abdominal area, so just between the hip bones, you can feel those pelvic crest bones here. And then there's the pubic bone, so you kind of create a triangle. And then just see if you can rock back and forth through the pelvis. So creating that posterior tilt and then that anterior tilt. Posterior and anterior. And just noticing what happens to the core as you move through this range of motion. And then just see if you can find that neutral pelvis. So there'll be a slight arching of the lower back. And the area between the hip bones and the pubic bone should be flat or aligned. So the hands aren't pointing upwards and your back isn't overarching to bring the fingertips down below the hip bones. So just finding that neutral pelvis. Good. From here, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just envision tightening the muscle between those hip bones. At the same time, pulling the navel back behind the heart and drawing it up behind the rib cage. And lowering those bottom ribs. So let's inhale again. Exhale. Run through those cues. So just tighten between the hip bones. Draw the navel toward the spine and up. And tuck the lower ribs. Now see if you can hold this core stability, this core engagement, and begin to lift the right foot from the floor, holding that transverse abdominal in place as well as not allowing those lower ribs to flare. Take a breath in. Exhale, re-engage. Inhale, lift the left knee. Make sure you still have your pelvis in that neutral position and those lower ribs are tucked in. Your whole abdomen is working here, it's engaged. So from there, take your hands and place them just above your knees. So you're going to push away with your hands and and resist with your knees. So push the knees into the hands as you push the hands into the knees. Keep those lower ribs tucked. Keep that transverse abdominal awareness. And then release. You can just bring your knees in for a moment. Good, and then plant the feet back down. So let's try that again. So inhale. Allow some expansion, some softening. And then as you exhale, just envision that corset tightening again. So the transverse belly button back, lower ribs tuck, and cinch at the waist. And then lift your knees as you inhale. See if you can hold your core there. Reach the arms either side. Take an inhale here. And exhale, without losing that core engagement, begin to lower your right leg. Now only go as far as you can go before you start to flare or overarch the back. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale. Extend the leg long. Inhale to bring it in. And then exhale, just bring the knees in. So we can do that again, lift the shoulders. So as we find that core again, so inhale, exhale. Inhale, bring the knees up, or the soles of the feet up. Exhale, reach the arms either side of the hips, still holding that core engagement. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale. Extend the left. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, right. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to bring it in, and then exhale, hug the knees in. So this will be core like you've never felt before. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. All right, so we'll set the core again by, and I'm just going to take this off so you can see. So setting the core again, so just allowing that breath, that inhale, that expansion. Exhale, imagine everything drawing in. Inhale to lift the shoulders. Exhale to lift the knees. So let's see if we can do that resistance from the knees to the hands. So push your knees into your hands. Put your hands into your knees. Try not to let those lower ribs flare out. For 3, for 2, for 1. So you found your core, you know what you should be feeling. If you need to take a little rest here, you can. Or you can bring the palms together in the center. So from here, we're going to twist, keeping that core engagement, over to the outside of the right leg. Inhale. And then exhale. See if you can start to lower the left again without losing that core engagement. See if you can lift your shoulders even more, working into those obliques. And exhale. Come back to center. Inhale to bring the left knee in. And exhale over to the other side. Inhale here. And exhale. See if you can extend the right leg. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can lift your shoulders even higher. Feeling those obliques turn on. Keep the legs active. And then inhale. Back to center. Exhale. Bring the right knee in. Lower the upper body down and then just bring the knees in. And then work through that lower back. Good, so we can do that again. So let's inhale. Find your core, exhale. Inhale, hands together. Exhale over to the outside of the right leg. Inhale. Exhale, begin to lower the left leg down, or not. Maybe you feel that's just a little bit too much. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring the left knee in. And then inhale over to the other side. Exhale, right leg comes down, or maybe not. Inhale to center. And exhale, bring the right leg back. Good. Relax there, take a moment. One more little exercise here. You're probably feeling your core now. You should take a minute just to see how that's feeling in that area. Areas that you may not be used to using too much. Good, and then let's come back to that switched on, that engaged, contracted core. So this time, we can leave our shoulders on the mat. We'll do that to start with. Bring those knees up to stack them over the hips again, so you feel that core engagement. Active through your feet, so you're not just kind of hanging out there. And you can point or dorsiflex, it doesn't matter. Let's take the hands up above the face. Take an inhale. Exhale, find your core. And then this time, see if you can exhale, send your left leg long without flaring your lower ribs. Extend your left arm as well. I can feel mine trying to. Inhale to come back. And exhale to the other side. Inhale to come back to center. And exhale, take a moment there. So I'll show you how that would look without core engagement, which I see a number of people doing their dead bug for core. So you'd come up and you'd just be like this. So you see how my lower back there is coming up. So I'm extending my lower back. Whereas if I was to keep my transverse and my whole core engaged, there shouldn't be much movement through my pelvis and through my back. Just checking there because I've never seen myself do it. So yeah, so that's the difference between extending with the core engagement and extending without the core engagement. All right, so let's bring those knees in, and you can do that as often as you like. So fun. And then we'll rock and roll up. We'll come to some tabletop work. So I'll face this way. So coming into your tabletop, so just stacking those shoulders over your wrists, spread your fingers so you can evenly distribute some of that weight. And then make sure your knees are right under your hips there. And then from here, just envision wiping your hands apart and see how that turns on your shoulder, your whole shoulder joint community here, your shoulder girdle. And then in turn, see if you can draw the eyes of the elbows or the biceps forward. And then just see if you can just move through that anterior and posterior tilt once again, like we did while we were on our backs. Good, and then see if you can find that neutral spine. And then from here, we'll run through some cat and cows, but just keep your core in mind. So see if you can run through those cues as you inhale and exhale. Think about drawing it all in like a drawstring. And then keeping your core engaged, drop your belly and lift your chin. As you exhale, begin to round your back and really push the mat away. Inhale, drop and lift. And exhale, round and push the mat away. Good, inhale, find your neutral spine. Check in with those shoulders because throughout these movements we don't want to be collapsing through the shoulder. All right, so inhale, exhale. So pull your belly button back, your transverse, your lower ribs, tuck them. I have a tendency to flare my lower ribs. Okay, and then from there, we're going to just hover the knees from the mat. Exhale. Inhale, drop the knees down and begin to come through into cow again. Lift the chin. And then exhale, round your spine and then begin to come into cat, but lifting your knees. Inhale, begin to lift. And exhale, lifting your knees. Inhale, drop down, and then just take a moment to loosen up the hips. All right, so let's come into some spinal balance now. So run through all the cues that I just mentioned. So hands, fingertips, shoulders are on. Take a breath in. Exhale, turn on that core. And then see if you can hold that core engagement. Hover your right hand and hover your left knee. Hold your core. Inhale. Still holding that core, begin to extend your right arm away from you. And then maybe your left leg as well. So instead of doing this, see if you can keep your core engagement. Squeeze your left glute. See if you can lift that left leg even higher using your glute. Good, and then exhale. Bring the right hand down, left knee down. Good, just sit back for a moment if you want to work on your wrists or your shoulders. I don't know if it's because I was climbing yesterday, but that kind of hurt. All right, so again, let's do the same thing. So find your core. Inhale, hover the left hand, hover the right knee. Exhale, hold that core engagement and begin to extend. Really mindfully lengthening, holding that core and squeezing the right glute now to lift that right leg higher. So you're trying to avoid arching through that lower back. And exhale, bring the hand down, bring the knee down. Let's push back into a child's pose. Let's take one more deep breath. And then inhale. Let's begin to find that engagement through your hands. Good, so we'll do a spinal balance again. This time we'll do a bit of crunching as well. So take an inhale, exhale to tone. Inhale, hover the right and the left. So right hand, left knee. Exhale. Inhale to lengthen through the arm and the leg. And then exhale, bring the knee and the elbow to meet. Inhale to lengthen. Make sure you're not collapsing through your left shoulder. Exhale, elbow and knee meet. Good. Inhale to extend. One last time. Exhale, elbow and knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, plant the hand and the knee down. Take a moment there. Take a child's pose or just come up, work on your wrists, and we'll do the other side. Good, so take a breath. Exhale, core engagement, hover the left hand, right knee, inhale. Exhale, inhale to extend. Inhale, exhale, elbow and knee meet. Inhale, extend, check in with your right shoulder. Exhale. Inhale, final time, check in with your core. And exhale. Inhale, extend. And exhale, plant down the hand and the knee. Let's come into a child's pose just for a couple of breaths. Good, and then coming back up, find your tabletop. All right, so this time, take an inhale, find your core and your exhale. Extend your right leg back behind you, hold your core, and then just bring it in. See if you can tuck that knee, use the core to lift and plant the foot just in front of you. And then come up. So from here, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Here we go. So finding your 90-90, roll your shoulders back, but again, see if you can do that cat and cow motion here. So your pelvic tilt, anterior and posterior. Anterior, posterior. And then find your neutral. Maybe tuck a little bit. Take a breath in. Exhale, find your core. Inhale, maybe lift your left arm. Still keeping those lower ribs tucked and your transverse engaged. Maybe leaning over toward the right here, just stretching through your hip flexor, really working on that core engagement as you move. And maybe take the gaze over toward the left. Get a nice little stretch here. Stretching through your psoas, your hip flexor, and exhale back to center. This time we're going to send both hands out in front. So inhale, exhale, find your core. Inhale, take the right hand behind you as if you're pulling a bow and arrow. Elbow can lead and then open up the arm. So you're twisting, using your obliques here. And you can stay here. Maybe you can tuck your back toes and hover your back knee. Exhale, release the back knee down. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, bring the hands down. Good, so then we can come down with our hands, come back toward your tabletop. Take a moment here. Any organic movement that you feel your body needs in between. Find your tabletop. And then this time, finding your core, send the left leg back. Use your glute to lift that leg. And then bring it in using your core to lift it between your hands. Good, inhale to come up. And then again, move through your pelvic tilt. Just so you know what you're feeling through your hips in this position, through your core, through your back. Become familiar with your body in certain positions. It's interesting. All right, so find your core once you find that stable, neutral pelvis. See if you can really push up with your arms along spine. And then begin to lift your right arm. Again, trying to avoid flaring those lower ribs, maybe leaning over toward the left side. If you're okay here, you can take the gaze over to the right side as you're reaching over to the left. Feeling a little stretch through your psoas, your hip flexor, maybe into your oblique. And then exhale, come back to center. Inhale, now lift the hands, bring them in front. Exhale, find your core. Inhale, bring the left arm behind you. Extend. So you should really feel the obliques working to hold you here. Take a breath. Keep your core. Maybe tuck your back toes. Inhale, hover your back knee. Exhale, lower the back knee. Untuck the toes. Inhale, come forward. And find your tabletop. Good. All right, so from here, we're going to come onto our belly. So I'll just adjust this again. All right. So just planting your body down, but then I want you to just bring your feet just a little bit wider. So not off the mat, but about mat width. And then begin to do that cat and cow motion again. So lifting your chin, really proud through the chest, and then exhale. See if you can round through your back. Inhale to lift, and exhale to round. One more time, inhale to lift, and exhale, hips can come off the mat. And then find that neutral position. Just relax through the glutes for a moment and just draw your awareness to your shoulders. So elbows are directly below the shoulders and really grounding down to support you there. You should feel your kind of, I guess it's the thoracic part of the back really engage, really turning on. So see if you can find your core here now. So maybe push the pubic bone into the mat as you tighten through your lower abdominal, so your transverse abdominal, your TA, and then tuck your lower ribs, lift your right hand. So you're going to be pushing down into your left elbow and spread your left fingers. Really feeling the back body on the left side turn on. And exhale, bring it back down. Let's take a moment there. Just notice where you're holding tension in that position. Any feedback your body's giving you. And then set up again for the other side. So find your core, inhale, tone the glutes, tone the TA and the lower ribs. Inhale, lift. Keep that shoulder engaged through the right side. Lift your left arm. Notice the right side back body turn on. And exhale, bring it down. Just take a moment here. Just take one cheek to the floor. And breathe. And then we'll come back to center. So this time extending the arms above the head. Just take the forehead down to the mat. Extending the legs. And then we'll begin to lift the head. Just keep the neck neutral and long. And take an inhale. Exhale, tone the glutes and the core. And lift both arms. Lift both legs. For 4, keep that engagement. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. One breath in. Exhale. Lift the head once again. And this time we will extend the arms. But just lift the right arm and the left leg. Inhale. Hover the left hand from the floor so you're not collapsing through your arm. Exhale. Switch the arm and the leg. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift the other side. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time each side. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And then just place your hands under your shoulders. Just sit back. Find a child's pose. Just take a moment in this counter pose. And when you're ready, just extend both arms out. We're going to come onto our side. So I'm on my right side to begin with, and bring both knees in. You can have your arm to support your head, maybe a block under your head, like so. I actually prefer my head in my hand. So bring your knees in toward you, and then send your top leg long. So option 1 would be to lift that leg and send the top arm down the leg so you're really engaging through your obliques, and then bring it down. Another option would be to maybe extend both legs and just lift the top leg. It just takes a little bit more balance. and extend and release. Some people like to come up and do a full banana, lifting and lowering. But of course you don't have to do that. This is quite enough. You can feel the squeeze, the contraction through your oblique as you try and hold that leg there. It's good. So let's go for another 4. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bringing it down. See if you can come up into a side plank. So options here would be to bring your knees in, maybe extend the top leg and lift your hips. This would be option 1. Option 2, you can bring the top leg in and extend the bottom leg. And then option 3 would be to have both legs extended. So we are again working on this oblique. So let's take a breath in, find that core. And then we will drop, hip touch, bring it up. Down and up, follow your breath. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. 2 more. Exhale, inhale. Last one, exhale, inhale. Hold it up. Maybe you can lift your top arm and just begin to reach underneath for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Coming back up, bring the hips down, bring the knees in. Take a moment and we'll switch sides. So this is your oblique work again. So again, either having your arm down, the block, a rolled up blanket, anything that makes you comfortable. Turn on your core, bring your knees in, and then extend the lower leg. And maybe you stay like this and you're reaching. Maybe you can extend both and reach. Or maybe you like to come up onto your forearm and reach for both. Let's go for 3 more. So 3, 2, 1. Good, and then coming into that side plank. So whichever variation you did on the other side, try on this side. And we will begin to do some dips. So you can place your hand on your waist. If you need a little bit more support, you can have a block in front of you or just place your hand down if that's comfortable. And then we will take some dips. So here we go. Exhale. Go for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, then hold it up. Maybe reach up with your top arm. Just check in with your shoulder here, that you're not collapsing. And then reach underneath for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. And then come down and bring it in. Ah, good. So those are some little core exercises to keep you going for a while. Just take a little roll through your shoulders. See if you can find the sit bones on the mat. Soften through the neck. Just letting go now. And we'll do one more exercise to do with the diaphragm and those deep abdominal muscles in TA. So take a deep breath in and let it go. We'll do that one more time. Deep breath in. Let it go. So next time on your exhale, get rid of all the air, hold that breath at the bottom, and then begin to suction your lower belly into your rib cage. So inhale, you might need to pull on your legs for a little bit of resistance there, some traction. So inhale, exhale. And just breathe. Good. Begin to soften the body. Just allow your hands to rest on your lap. Close off the eyes. Just allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Maybe bringing a smile to your face. Just letting go of everything you just did, but also showing some gratitude to yourself for taking the time for a practice today. When you're ready, drawing the hands to heart center. And thank you for following me with this practice. I hope you can take something beneficial from it. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. Namaste.